Hello, everyone. Well, Pilates does that work if you're going through perimenopause or not? That's what we're going to find out today from Kristen. Kristen is a movement and nutrition practitioner. She has been teaching Pilates for over 20 years. Thank you so much for joining me.
Yeah, thanks for having me. It's nice to see you.
Thank you. So, most of us are aware of yoga because of thanks to Lululemon and all the cool clothes that everyone wants to wear. And we are, I think, a little bit about strength training, but we know Pilates. It's not that nobody knows Pilates. Everybody knows Pilates, but I think most of us don't understand the significance of Pilates for women going through perimenopause.
Sure. Yeah, I mean, it's a great conversation, and it's I'm always talking about it with people. I'm so happy that I started so long ago, because now I'm in this perimenopausal phase, and I'm so grateful that I have it and it's in my body and I'm able to talk about it with people. But the thing so I remember years ago someone explaining Pilates. So yoga is like a mind-body exercise, and Pilates is like a body-mind exercise. So in essence, they're the same thing, but yoga has that spiritual component, but the way everything moves, right? And there's such a flow in the way yoga has changed. There's always the root and the foundation of where it comes from, but I feel like it's definitely branched off a lot. Pilates has done kind of the same thing, but what they both do have in common is the breath is really important. So that breathing component of, you can't just do Pilates and zone out. I mean, I guess you can, but the way I teach and the way I practice is you're in tune with your body. So it brings you into the moment, and it has that, I wouldn't say necessarily spiritual component, but it does bring you, it helps you be mindful. And, when we're in perimenopause, as we get older, there's more stress in our lives. So I think that being able to be present, focus on the breath, and really focus on your body, you're not thinking about anything else, and you're really able to be in the moment. So that's one thing. As far as, because yoga, people do understand yoga, I think that's a fairly similar component. But the biggest difference is there's equipment that you use with Pilates, and there's also mat work. It was originally started with mat, but is equipment. And what I love about Pilates is that it's something that you can do forever. I have a 90-year-old client that I'm teaching right now. But as you're entering perimenopause, some of the changes, depending on where you are in this different stages, you start to have more inflammation. You start to have, which, it's because of stress, because of a lot of different things. You start to have maybe more achy joints. That can be a symptom that people have during perimenopause. There's more stiffness, and that might just come with age, but that also could have something to do with perimenopause. And the great thing about Pilates is it's low impact. It helps to strengthen a lot of your smaller muscles that surround your joints. And I think that that's really important as we get older, because we want to support all of those different joints. It's important to do some of the bigger movements with some of the heavier weight. Also, I'm all about cross training. But Pilates really does offer that low impact way of strengthening your body, because if you're doing the equipment, you have the resistance built in with the springs. If you're doing mat work, there is some body, weight bearing exercise. And as I've gotten older, I've just started actually adding more weights into the workouts that I'm doing with my clients, because I just think it's more beneficial. And we know the importance of building that strength of your muscles and your bones, because you lose bone density when you lose estrogen. So, I mean, I could go on, but I think those are just some of the basic things that really is so beneficial from Pilates.
Now, I hear you in the sense, like, it's really combining the weight resistance. We talk about how weight resistance is so beneficial for bone density. There's a lot of research that has been written about it, right? And then the yoga part of the breath work of yoga, all the pranayamas, we know there's a lot of research again that how it calms the mind and the parasympathetic system. So Pilates, in my mind, is combining the weight resistance part of body pump, which I call the body pump, but and then the pranayama of yoga and combining it into that. Do you want to comment on how that the assumption that I'm making is correct or wrong?
Yeah, I mean, the breathing is different. I mean, there's definitely a very specific pranayama type of yoga breath. Pilates is I focus more on a really deep breath, breathing down into the pelvic floor, really expanding your rib cage. So it's like a 360-degree breath all the way filling up your whole center. Whereas I think sometimes, the yoga breath is a little, I'm not an expert on yoga breathing, so I'm not going to say it wrong, but I know I've done yoga a lot in my life, and I know it's a little different, that pranayama breath. It's a little different, but in essence, yes. I mean, there is a similarity in the sense that you've got that breathing. It's not just, you're not just mindlessly moving through, you're really focusing on the breath. That breath can get you really deeper into your core, really deep breathing properly and expanding your diaphragm and opening up your lungs and your pelvic floor. All that stuff is so important to a strong core. And a strong core is going to be important for your whole life, right? So from that strong core, you can have better posture, and that's huge also, because balance can get thrown off as we get older. So Pilates has all these different benefits that are beneficial no matter what age you're at. But again, as we get a little older, these things just become a little more important. Balance, posture, flexibility, strength, the core strength specifically, any type of exercise is medicine. Movement is medicine. So I just love all the benefits that Pilates has, and especially this time. And I was just reading an article that was on PubMed. Research was done in 2016. I think it was 79 postmenopausal women. They were maybe in their 55-year range. And they did Pilates 3 times a week for 8 weeks. And there was a significant increase in their lumbar, spine strength, and in their flexibility. And if that can happen when you're 55, think about the benefits all the way up to there. So Pilates has been around, for a long time, and it's not just a fad. Clearly at this point, it's here to stay. So I'm really happy about that.
Great. This is a quick 10-minute session that we bring on a daily basis. You were right on time, I must say that.
I try to be.
we keep it short so people can chew the bite-sized information. But thank you so much. Any information that you want to share about your website, anything you want to share, if you have any program or anything, feel free to do that.
Yeah, I definitely send it to you.
You can share after this in the FB Live in the comment section so that people can see it, because sometimes when you speak, it's a bit difficult.
Yeah. I have my 28-day perimenopause program right now that includes Pilates. It's all mat work, Pilates and resistance training. So all you really need is a mat and some weights. If you don't have weights, you can still do it because you're getting that weight bearing. And then some stretching and some breathing exercises. So I touch on all the stuff that I just mentioned. So, and then there's emails also, but I think I'm really, since we're focusing on Pilates, focused on the exercise component. Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you so much. Have a great evening, everyone. And keep supporting us. We are coming out with programs and building an amazing global resource and marketplace for women going through perimenopause and menopause and beyond. So keep supporting us. Thank you.
Thank you so much for doing this. This is great.